Welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen. I hope it's a good afternoon. We are back here on the GCIC Online Radio, and we are always here. As I told you, we will be giving you all the information and the current affairs that you really need. So, right about now, I'm here once again with Joella and Shemeza, and we will be giving you yet another exciting session, giving you facts and giving you all the information that you need when it comes to government programs, when it comes to current affairs. And today, Joella will be giving you facts about the accountability sector. We want to talk about finance. For you out there who doesn't know how much we spend, how much government spends on the various sectors, for you who doesn't know about what finance does, what is in the quarter, what happened in the budget, and how much was released. Joel is just going to give you a few facts and highlights about finance and accountability sector. And if you have a pen and a paper out there, just put it aside, listen to us, keep noting down the information that you need. Follow us live on GCIC at YouTube, GCIC at TikTok, Government of Uganda. Follow us on Government of Uganda on Instagram, and you can really catch us every day. We will be here giving you what you really need. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome back Miss Joella Anshemeza to the GCIC Online Radio so that she takes us through. Joella, what do you really have for us this time round, and what should we expect in the next 30 minutes?
Thank you very much, Moira. Good afternoon, listeners. In case you hadn't joined us earlier, my name is Joella Anshemeza, and I'm a communications officer at the Government Cities Interaction Center. So about the economy sector or the accountability sector, we are not starting this conversation without giving the basics. On a daily, we have the Bank of Uganda releases the dollar rate, the pound rate, and the Kenyan shilling, compared to the Ugandan shilling. So today's dollar exchange rate is 3,711.09 for each one Ugandan shilling. So please, if you're out there and you're in the Forex Bureau, in the exchange market, it's important to have this information. Our euro to Uganda is 4,293.92 cents, and the pound is 5,022.34. The Kenyan shilling is trading at 28.70. That is just for the basics. Economy sector is an everyday thing. Taking us back to June 2026, the government of Uganda released its national budget, and the total, our resource envelope for the financial year 2026-2027 is Ugandan shillings 84,391.
That's the resource envelope, eh?
Yes, it's our resource envelope. Looking at the how it was detailed, or how, we go from how do we get our resources to finance our national budget. That is what the resource envelope is. We have domestic revenues. Domestic revenues, we are looking at URA, corrections, we are looking at the regulatory authority. We are looking at all these other resources that we use domestically to finance our budget, which is Ugandan shillings 45.96 trillion, domestic borrowing 11.97 trillion, domestic debt refinancing 13.97 trillion, external borrowing for general budget financing, which is 1.2 trillion Ugandan shillings, external financing for projects, which is 11.27 trillion. So with the domestic revenues, we go ahead to give a detail of the non-tax revenue and the tax revenue. For tax revenue, that is 40.16 trillion, and the non-tax revenue is 4.02 trillion. And of course, non-tax involves petroleum revenue. You can't forget the local government revenue with domestic revenue. So local government revenue, that's the money you pay, for the market stalls, you pay, those small things that local government collects from us, the public, which is 339.8 billion. And that doesn't stop only at that. We go ahead to break down the allocations. Now, expenditure allocations, look at the wages and salaries, the non-wage recurrent expenditure, the development expenditure, the different sectors that come, So with expenditure allocations for the financial year 2026-2027, we are looking at wages and salaries, which is about 9.7 trillion. The non-wage recurrent expenditure, which is 33.2 trillion. Development expenditure, which is over 22 trillion. Domestic debt refinancing. So many people have always talked about the debt. How is government financing that debt? And with 2026-2027 budget, this was also considered, and 13.967 trillion will go towards debt refinancing. So those are few of the figures or the allocations that were made for the financial budget 2026-2027. Now, the biggest highlight in the economy sector, especially this month of August, is the Uganda Bureau of Statistics did a groundbreaking for the construction of the Statistics House in Entebbe. I know very many people know the Statistics House Kampala, but Ministry of Finance or Uganda Bureau of Statistics, which is UBOS, is under the Ministry of Finance. And at the beginning of this month, there was a groundbreaking that was presided over by the Minister of Finance, Honorable Henry Musasizi. And the good news is that we are not borrowing money to put up this structure. The government of Uganda is fully funding this Statistics House Entebbe office block, and it is also being done, constructed by Rocco Construction, which means Ugandans are getting jobs from this. It's not, it's not for bringing in people from out to do the construction. The other thing is that this is a significant step. How it is, it will definitely help in strengthening the statistical capacity, where we are having, the Kampala office, overcrowded. We have the Statistics House Entebbe. When it comes in place, there will be more offices created. We have very many surveys being done on a daily, monthly, or quarterly. So, meaning the statistics entity has a lot to do, and a lot, meaning it has more people to employ, it has more people to do the work, and without the office space being, accommodative enough, it limits its activities as the statistics entity. At the end of June, the Ministry of Finance released the performance report. So today we are going to talk about, the performance of our economy sector as of 2026 June. And we see from the economic growth and activity, Uganda's economy grew by 6.4% in financial year 2025-2026, which was slightly higher than the 6.3 that was recorded in 2024. This shows that there is much activity that is being done. There is more business. There is, we are resilient. Our economy is resilient despite, you know, the other challenges that have happened here and there. You know, we know that some businesses are still recovering from COVID. Some businesses with the Ebola also, I'm sure it affected some economic activities like tourism. It was limited a bit, but despite all those challenges, there is still some economic growth. So I think that is a good report for us. The Purchasing Managers Index, which rose from 54.1 in May to 56.5 in June. What does the Purchasing Managers Index mean? It means that businesses are becoming more active. You know, there is more business activity, or you can just call it maybe a business activity thermometer. You know how you go to the hospital and they use a thermometer to measure your temperature? So even the Purchasing Managers Index, that's how it relates in the business sense. It means there are more businesses, it means there are more jobs, it means there is more income and more goods are available. Every time you see a rise in the purchasing index. We look at still on the economic growth and activity, the composite index. Now, I'm sure, you know, for a local Ugandan, for anyone who is not into economics, this might not be, you know, the usual language. So try and break it down. The composite index of economic activity, to a layman's language, it means the dashboard. It shows the overall direction of Uganda's economy. Where are we headed as Uganda? Increase by 0.9% indicates there is continued improvement in economic activity, meaning farmers, traders, transporters are having more opportunities to carry on their activity. If you're a trader, it means there is more activity for you to trade. You're taking your goods, you know, outside Uganda, you're trading within Uganda. There is potential for more jobs, meaning businesses need more workers. Every time you see an increase in that, it means the economy is actually moving to the right direction, especially with our aim of the $500 billion target. In terms of inflation and the cost of living, we see headline inflation rising from 3.2, and this was majorly due to the pressure that came from fuel prices. We saw our petrol prices increasing. We saw the diesel increasing. That is affecting everyone on a day-to-day. Even if you don't have a car or you're not into the transport business, it still, you know, affects you as a Ugandan, because you're paying money to a taxi, or you're paying money to transport your goods. You're paying money to do certain things here and there. So the headline inflation was a bit high in June, and we pray it goes down with time as the financial year comes to an end. The beauty or the good news is that the Ugandan shilling has continued to appreciate against the US dollar by 1.4%, and 2.8% against the euro, 2.6% against the British pound. Lending rates declined, with shilling-dominated loans falling to 18%, and foreign currency loans to 7.28%. We see private sector credit increasing by 1.1% to shillings 26.72 trillion. This was mainly due to the lending to manufacturing and trade. It was largely driven by lending to manufacturing and trade. Government raised Ugandan shillings 2.50 trillion through treasury bills and bonds. This means there is more investor demand, or there is strong investor demand. On exports and imports, Uganda registered an increase of 12.8% year to the US dollar 1.35 billion in May 2026. So, meaning, there is more that is being exported, compared to how it was before. There was also gold has been, there's so much talk about gold.
Yeah.
Most people think gold is mainly for Bafere, it is not genuine, but gold has been a good driver to our exports earnings, with an increase by 67.7% to the US dollar of 814.78 million. That is as of June 2026. As in, if we look at the other months and the previous year, this report is compared to how June 2025 was. So there is good progress. And merchandise exports for July 2025.
Joella, maybe we will start from there. Let's first go for a short break. And listeners and viewers, Joella has been briefing us about what has been happening in the finance sector. When you look at the figures that she has been reading out to you, the figure has really showed that there is a lot of improvements when it comes to the dollar rate and the Uganda shillings, how it is faring. You find out that it is very okay. She has also talked about the revenues, how we are generating the revenues, where the revenues are coming from. These are very important highlights, and as Ugandans, we must always give attention to the accountability and finance sector, because it is this sector that dictates what really happens. If the sector has no money, you see the whole country will be broke. So if the sector has money and URA is collecting some money, then everyone will be so happy. That's why the president is always happy and is like, yeah, I leave my Ugandans to go out there in the bars, in the clubs, to drink and get themselves drunk, because yeah, that's where we are getting our what? Our taxes. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's go for a short break, and we'll be coming back. Joella will be continuing.